All right, today I'm going to be talking about why I love the Tascam 388. Now, I'm guessing that if you clicked on this video, you most likely have a good idea of what this thing is, and you most likely own one and use it all the time. But for anyone that is just finding out what this thing is, or if you're looking to find out more, it was introduced by Tascam in 1985 and was the world's first 8-track quarter-inch multi-track tape recorder and mixer combination. I've been using this recording console for over a decade, recorded lots of bands, as well as most of my own material on it. I love this thing for a variety of reasons. Now, it's important to note that the Tascam 388 has a very specific sound. It doesn't sound like professional 2-inch tape machine. It's much lower fidelity than that. But it also doesn't sound like 4-track early Ariel Pink recordings. It's somewhere between those two worlds and has a signature sound and has been used by a bunch of bands over the years. So if you're curious what this thing sounds like in terms of a final product, I'm going to go ahead and play a couple quick clips of some of my own songs that I recorded on this Tascam 388 just to give you an idea of the overall sound that I've been able to get with this unit.
That you consider your mind. Upon their lies, your helpless touch. You wanna feel like them so much. What does it mean in the once in a dream?
So the sound of the Tascam 388 is very distinct, and I like the sound. It's just always been my preferred way to record music, and it's also convenient to write as you're recording. You can rip right back over a track until you get it right and bounce tracks around, and sometimes it turns into kind of a fun math problem because you only have 3 tracks left open and you'll have to plan on bouncing them together, so it can kind of feel sometimes like you're trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. But the quarter-inch tape has a great texture and the channels sound awesome when you push the input levels into the red and you get that unmistakable warm Tascam 388 texture and tone. You also get great tone when you collapse tracks together down onto a different track. There's just something magical that happens somewhere in there in all that chunky circuitry. Backup vocals, claps, anything like that sounds incredible collapsed together. And the layout and functionality of the machine is awesome. You know, it's easy to use, it's fun to use, everything is great. But what I really love about making songs on the Tascam 388 is that unlike any other machine that I've ever tried to use, and I've recorded in a big studio all the way down to 4-track cassette, what I really love about it is that it forces you to be creative more than say on a 16-track or 24-track setup, because you have the limitation of the 8 tracks. You combine that with the fact that you have 1/4 inch of tape that is divided into 8 tracks, so the fidelity is in this weird sweet spot, kind of in a mid-fi gray area. Just the whole thing combined, the feel of the machine, I love it. Honestly, I will never make another record on anything but this machine. Now, a lot of people do great on a giant board with unlimited tracks, but that just doesn't work for me because when I have too many options, I just go crazy and end up going down rabbit holes of endless tracking, and I've made that mistake before. But with the Tascam 388, it forces you to stay focused on the major raw components of the song, which I think really lets the power of your song and of the arrangement of your song, or I guess you could say the songcraft, to shine through. And because you aren't going to have any digital tracks or piles of tracks to hide behind, it forces you to get your songcraft in order on the front end. Have you ever heard a great song but it was buried in effects or a bunch of weird unnecessary tracks and the meat and potatoes of the song just gets buried? Hey, I've made recordings like that. Recordings that sound terrible, and I now hate those recordings very much. But with the Tascam 388, you're encouraged to stay on task and to stay within your lane of making good, simple, raw recordings that have this tone, incredible texture, and a very distinct sound. Now, if you're looking to pick one of these up right now, as of 2019, they're going for about $2,000 or more in good condition. When I first got my very first Tascam 388 in 2008, I think I got it for like $750. So they're rapidly going up in value as they get more scarce and people become more nostalgic to how cool quarter-inch tape recording is and how good it sounds. Highly recommend getting one of these. And if you're just starting out and need any tips on how to use it, feel free to hit me up in the comments. And thanks for checking out this video. Sometimes Doris and I get busy with other things. We don't post videos for weeks at a time, but I would still encourage you to click subscribe and stay tuned for updates as we begin the process of recording the third Dream Machine album on the Tascam 388.
Hello, I'm Jesus Christ, and I'm here with an important message about my favorite band, Dream Machine. They're currently working on their third album, but they need your help to make it happen. Matthew and Doris Melton played me some of the new demos, and it's already sounding heavenly. So, if you don't want to go to hell, you should consider joining their cause by donating to them on Patreon. Link in the description.